So let's move on. Weston, are you free? Come on up, buddy. So Weston Martinez has been with us before. He's a subject matter expert about a lot of things. He's going to be talking about a couple topics here. Excellent. Here you are. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, howdy. Now wait, where are y'all? Are y'all from Arkansas? New York City? Howdy. Let me tell you what, there's a place in California that's as scared of Texas as a place in New York City. That was a little rhetorical humor for those of y'all that had something to drink. I'm Weston Martinez, I'm running for Texas Land Commission. I'm running to replace George P. Bush to be your next Texas Land Commissioner. You know, what Warren didn't tell you is that a lot of times he's actually out there fighting for our constitutional rights on his own dime and his own nickel. That's right. He ain't gonna tell you that, but I will. Okay, we need to support patriots because it's time for this army to lock and load because we are going to have to take back our state so that we can save our country. You know, little interesting fun fact, the Texas Land Office was actually created by the Republic of Texas. Notice the words. I didn't say the state of Texas. It was created by the Republic of Texas even before the office of the governor was established. Not only was this office historically set up to help promote people moving out into the lands across Texas, it was also used to raise money to fund our fight in the Texas Revolution. Can I get a witness? So we have a chore on our hands. And there's a lot of things I'm going to talk about in a short amount of time. So for everybody that has a short attention span, you're going to love it. I'll change to about 15 different topics. But they get nothing to drink. This is all natural. But we're going to cue something up just to start this off right, because I know y'all have been sitting a little bit. I can tell some of y'all are getting antsy. I saw y'all watching your phones. So we're going to cue something. A friend of mine named Joel Medina, who's running for mayor of Rowlett, he and I were at the Petroleum Club the other day, and we were there for a thing with CPAC. I don't know if y'all saw, but Sid Miller and I were at CPAC, and we auctioned off a cowboy hat, a longhorn bull, and a painting of Trump right before Trump came on stage. Yep, you were there. I know you were there. Man, she never left. But let's go ahead and, if you're ready, so y'all get ready. This is a nice little song that I was able to join my friend Joel Medina in singing. It's kind of easy, and you might sing along. All you people that are on social media, you might want to put this on your TikTok. It's longer than 15 seconds, but you'll get it. absolutely at war. And there are plenty of your friends and your family on your street that do not know it. But let me remind you, we know that the American Revolution was won by only 3%. Now look, I went to college on a bull riding scholarship. I know a little bit of math, but that's even simple fuzzy math that even one of our former vice presidents could get a hold of. We have to engage. We can no longer just do a byline talking point. We have to engage in every single issue. Look, the down ballot nonpartisan elections, those are the breeding ground for Democrats and socialists. I guarantee you, AOC is probably on the next school board that's just right here, 10 miles away. And we have to take that back. One of the ways we take that back is by electing people that are not sold out to the system. People that are going to hold others accountable regardless if they got an R behind their name or a D behind their name. You see, before I was running for Texas Land Commissioner, I was part of the team that helped stop the liberals from tearing down the Alamo down there in San Antonio and stopping that liberal mayor from messing with the cenotaph, which they wanted to tear down and annihilate. They want to erase our history. They don't want to just beat you. They want to annihilate you and do just like they did over in another place called Germany and annihilate your lineage. Before I was running for this office, I created a bill that made human trafficking a death penalty offense and another one that made voter fraud a felony in Texas. How many of y'all heard of James O'Keefe? James is a friend of mine. I worked with him to get the lady arrested for voter fraud down in San Antonio. It was all over the national news. They told me to tell Dan Patrick that he needed to pay me the $1 million because I was the one that found the most voter fraud. I'm waiting on Dan to finish writing that check. So, I think it'll be here before Election Day, Chad. We'll probably have a good time with it. You know, invite all y'all guys to the Frisco Star or something like that. But as we move forward, you know, there's nothing general about the General Land Office. Thankfully, again, before I was running for this office, I had an oil and gas service company. So leased over 300,000 acres of land rights across the state of Texas. Retired from Southwestern Bell AT&T with an infrastructure background. Worked on storm so that you could work with events like Hurricane Harvey. Involved in a lot of national home builders in the southern part of Texas would contract me to work for utilities, work for the utility infrastructure issues because that's important because as land commissioner, guess what? You're in charge of all of the boundaries for the state of Texas. You're in charge of all the surveyors. How many of y'all know we got a BLM problem in Texas? And I'm not just talking about Black Lives Matter, I'm talking about Bureau of Land Management. Okay? That whole thing that happened up here up north, that was because the Land Commission didn't have the land properly surveyed, and the federal government thought they could come into Texas. It was that simple. It wasn't rocket science. But again, there's nothing general about the General Land Office. How many of y'all know we got a problem down at the border? Well, being from San Antonio, I always say that I just drove in from Sodom and Gomorrah. Most people think San Antonio is actually on the other side of Mexico, but it's not. Used to be, but it's not now. And through the General Land Office, because of the emergency declaration set up by the governor, I actually am able to fund building the wall through the discretionary funds available in the General Land Office. Because again, this job, it's like hiring the CEO of the King Ranch. You got to know about mineral rights, crossing contracts, grazing contracts, farming contracts. You got to know about what you're going to do on a company that wants to come in and put a solar farm or a wind farm. If they're from China, they don't even need to call me. Okay, we got Chinese communists trying to take over our country from within. We can no longer sit by idly and think that everybody needs us goodwill. That time is over. If you can go to the next, one with the land office. Well, you can go right there. It's fine. Voter fraud bureau investigation. So after we got the lady arrested for voter fraud, I asked James O'Keefe, guys, create an agency within Project Veritas that just does voter fraud. Said they couldn't. Their mission's too broad. They couldn't be singularly focused. They said, Weston, you should create an organization. I prayed about it. And I was like, man, Lord, what should we do? What should we call it? And Voter Fraud Bureau of Investigation is what came to my mind. Now look, I'm kind of a funny guy, but I wasn't even trying to be cute because the acronym is the FBI. Which sounds like the FBI. Now I'm not trying to impersonate an officer here, but I tell you what, if I've got people outside of election sites that have shirts on that say, report Voter Fraud Bureau of Investigation, investigator, guess what's going to happen? The lady that we got arrested for voter fraud in San Antonio, their group was responsible for about 400,000 votes across the state of Texas in an unsophisticated manner. You see, most people don't tell you that you've got the voter fraud that takes place the old-fashioned way with the mail ballots, but then you've also got, man, I lost this election, but even if I won all of the voter fraud, all of the mail ballots, I'm still not in there. That's because provisional ballots, guess what? Nobody's going to check them unless you call for the whole election. And then, you know what some people do? How many of you ladies are married? Raise your hand. There you go. Guys that are single, pay attention, didn't raise your hand. What some people do is they actually are registered to vote in their maiden name and their married name. Oh yeah. And we don't have people just from the border that are actually voting and coming across, voting provisionally. We got people from the northern border crossing the Red River. Oh yeah. Oh, believe me, we do. And then, for all you judges that are in here, and lawyers, we got statutory law, which is hard and fast code, must do. And then we've got administrative law code, suggested. One of the items that's suggested in administrative law code is the requirement for voting machines to be zeroed out the day that early voting starts. Makes sense, right? Except that it's suggested. So guess what they do in Bexar County? They zero them out 5 days early. So did you start with zero? Or not? Right, you didn't. So I wanted to talk about that till the end, but let's go back to the GLO real quick. While we're going to that, if you look what we brought, how many of y'all like the traveling border wall we brought over here? So that's a real picture from the border. I know everybody doesn't have time to drive 4.5 hours to get down there, but myself and my team, Dale, Ron, we were down there and we were doing some different stuff. We were actually right behind where Trump did his little thing, and perfect spot. And not even planning it, we had 2 buses drive in empty and come out full within 25 minutes. The pop-up on the side over there has pictures of those buses coming in and out. But this is an actual picture of the hole. Now, it's 40 feet tall, so we cut it down so y'all can see it inside of a room like this. But, and all that green part right there, that's all floodplain. Now, you remember I told you I could secure the border as land commissioner? You're going to love this. Like I said, I went to college on a bull riding scholarship. Ain't that, I'm not a Rhodes Scholar unless you're spelling it R-O-A-D. Some of y'all that paid for some high-price education for your kids know what I just said. We're going to fight and work to get the Rio Grande River grand again. Yeah. Turn it into the Mississippi. You see anybody swimming the Mississippi? So we have dams along the Rio Grande River. Why don't we have one in Brownsville? All of that area right there, that's all floodplain. Now we take McAllen and Laredo, we turn them into vessel ports. Economic development into a region that hasn't had it in generations. But, again, there's nothing general about the General Land Office. It's a highly sophisticated, specific job. If we can go to this, look at this video right here. The General Land Office, it'll recircle in a second. So you're managing all these resources from oil and gas and minerals and leasing rights to fund the public schools, public school fund, public university fund, and the Veterans Land Board. We have over 10 veterans nursing homes in Texas. Guess what? Their death rate was twice the national average this last year during COVID. Don't blame it on the contractors. They're running other nursing homes in Texas where they had 0 to none. Blame it on the administrators that are running that nursing home and letting our veterans get Fauci right here in Texas. We have to bring oversight to protect our veterans. Hurricanes, hurricane relief, storm duty. Guys, we've got people that are still out of their homes from Hurricane Harvey. This office has put 3,000 people back in their homes since Hurricane Harvey. If it was a publicly traded company, you would liquidate the assets and put it up for bankruptcy. It's not the way to run a business. We're going to take this agency and restore it to what it should be. Make sure that it's serving the citizens of Texas. Make sure that we hold true to the fact that the founders of Texas, when it was a republic, created this office to make sure that those people here in Texas were proud of their state, and those people that were outside of Texas knew they shouldn't come over unless they were invited. Let's just flip across the tabs real quick. I'll show you a couple things. So that's again the permanent school fund that I talked about. You go to the G there. You go to the GLO left. So here's all the different things. Again, you got the Adopt a Beach program. We're actually able to build beaches and build inlets with some of the constitutionality here at the General Land Office. Okay, so y'all get the picture here? This is a highly sophisticated, specific job. I got 5 kids. How many of y'all go see a doctor whenever you can go see a specialist? You don't, right? You go to the specialist. Humbly, I would let you know that God has blessed me with both the political and professional ability and aptitude to do this job on day one. But mostly it's because I realize that I'm here to serve something greater than myself. I'm here to make sure that my 5 children have a future. Okay? Normally I let y'all know that I have 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls, no twins, and I'm not Catholic. And for those of y'all from West Texas, I'm not Mormon either. Just a Baptist without a TV in the bedroom. But this doesn't happen without you. Okay? You have the ability to bring us into the next generation. We have to unite. We have to get behind people. This election is simple. Are you for the outsiders or are you for the insiders? Are you for freedom or are you for more tyranny? Freedom. That's right, freedom. That's easy. So you have my picture on my picture on your table there. Take me home. Know that I'm happily married to somebody else. Scan my card, follow the social media. We'll be back to talk about a lot more stuff. The team over here with Jordan does a great job. Please give them a round of applause. And God bless you. God bless Texas. Thank you for your time.